Today I want to talk about combos. So let me know in the comments, what's your favorite flavor? Pizzeria pretzel? We're not talking about pizzeria pretzel combos today. We're actually going to talk about motor combos with the 10-shooter limited edition rock crawler motor. We just did a review video kind of telling you all about the motor, and now I want to talk about making combos with it, where you would install it, pretty much what is this for, how would you use it. So this particular motor is a 2700 kV 10-shooter, and it is perfectly acceptable to run it from 2S to 4S. You could run it on 5S, but let's just put that to the wayside for right now. Let's not worry about that. So 2S to 4S, that actually gives us a lot of different options as far as controllers are concerned. And since it is censored, you will get a little bit better low speed control with a censored controller. A really good match is going to be the Mamba Micro X2 that just came out. It is 2 to 4S compatible. However, if you're running 4S with this particular motor, since it's fast, it's going to put kind of a beating on the Micro ESC. So this is really going to depend on your gearing. It's really going to depend on your gearing, whether or not you can use 4S. How heavy your rig is and also how you drive has a lot to do with it as well, but your gear down is going to be pretty important. And I don't want to throw any round numbers out there because your tire height and your terrain and your weight really do play a role into it, but essentially just gear down a lot. Watch your heat at first and don't go out just blasting around and expect your Mamba Micro X2 to potentially survive everything. If you're using 3S, no problems in a crawler. You definitely don't want to use a Micro ESC like this for any sort of rock racer. However, the 10-shooter will take rock racing, especially in the standard size. It will take rock racing duties. It won't run as cool as a Puller Pro would run. Cool. Let me know in the comments if you like to say words weirdly too. Totally threw myself off of that. Where was I going? I forget. Back to crawling. All right, back to crawling. So you are going to want to pair the 10-shooter with a censored ESC typically, and right now in the market, I'm going to say that Castle ESCs are going to be your best bet for censored. So really, Mamba X going to be a fantastic choice. The Copperhead is going to be a fantastic choice. The Mamba Micro X or the Mamba Micro X2, particularly if you want to run 4S LiPo, is going to be excellent choices. They're all going to be extremely smooth on the low end. It's not going to make very much noise at all because the 10-shooter magnetic design, as well as my case design on there, muffles a lot of that audible noise, just a little bit of audible feedback under load, but it's pretty quiet in all, even despite the Castle ooh sort of noise that they make. So that's a good basic explanation of it. What would I put these rigs in personally? I would have absolutely no problem putting this into TRX4 Sport with a Micro ESC, or a regular TRX4 if we go with the standard size motor and something like a Mamba X. So bigger ESC, bigger motor for that 2-speed setup. But for single speed, you could definitely use a stubby unless it's a really heavy rig and you want more drag brake, then use a standard. But otherwise, if we're talking the Element over here, TRX4 Sport, we're talking any of the SCX platforms, SCX1 or 2 or 3, definitely your competition rigs, TGH, Sherpa, your comp rigs, your LCG, your cheater crawlers, the stubby or the standard for these. The stubby is going to give you a lot more clearance on your rails and your drive shafts and things like that. Any of those rigs, even the old race, single speed, we'll have this on the product page as far as recommendations, but looking around, as long as it's not a stubby motor with a 2-speed and a Micro ESC, there's really nothing. The TF2, TF3, it might break some parts. Definitely use a stubby on that. Use 3S LiPo. Be careful. Be real careful. It's a lot of wheel speed. Maybe even running on 2S for a TF2 or TF3, in my opinion. Yeah, that's pretty good. If you do have any questions more specific to setups, let me know. But otherwise, the programming is going to be the same on the ESC that I'd always recommend for a Mamba style system, a Castle style system. So nothing different on there. And yeah, leave any comments down below if you do have questions about this. I know it was sort of rambly, but the crawler motors that I make are kind of universal, and it's hard to say that, you know, there's really not a lot that they won't work for other than like 2-speeds, micro ESCs, and stubby motors all in one package. We just want to avoid that. So once again, leave your comments down below if you do have them. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.